Since Election Day, it seems like everywhere Donald Trump goes, Elon Musk is at his side. The world's richest person helping to shape Trump's cabinet is with Trump in policy meetings, travels with Trump across the country, and last night was with him for Thanksgiving dinner. Here they are at Mar-A-Lago. You see Musk on Trump's right, son Barron on his left, singing and dancing to YMCA. Musk's mother and Trump's other children were there as well. CNN's Steve Contorno, well, he didn't get an invitation to Mar-a-Lago last night, but he was camped out nearby in West Palm Beach. So, Steve, these days, Musk seems to be everywhere, and Trump seems to be more than happy to keep him at his side.
That's right, Manu. I didn't get a chance to see Trump and Musk dance to the Village People together, but someone who was inside the room told CNN, quote, Trump and Elon walked around the room, stopped at each table, and spoke to all the guests. Just another example of how these two have been essentially tethered to each other ever since the campaign where Elon Musk spent a sizable chunk of his fortune helping to get Trump elected. He has served as an unofficial advisor to Trump, sitting in on many of the meetings he has held, including a phone call with Ukrainian President Zelensky. He has also been advising on cabinet picks. His official role in a future Trump administration will be heading this new Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, if you will, and him and Vivek Ramaswamy have laid out their extensive plans for cutting government spending, shrinking the federal workforce, and getting rid of government regulations. However, experts have told us that their task at hand is far more complicated than either of these two seem to have been suggesting in their comments, in their social media posts, where they seem to believe that it's going to be fairly easy to trim the fat in the U.S. budget and really get debt reduction on track. Elon Musk will make a pilgrimage to Washington, D.C. and speak to Hill Republicans next week, where we expect they will introduce and talk about how they can potentially get some of that work done. It will be the first time he is meeting with them, and just another example of how influential he has become in this Republican Party ever since Donald Trump was elected.
Yeah, a lot of this will be easier said than done. Steve Contorno from West Palm Beach, Florida. Thanks for that. And today, let's bring in my great panel of reporters to break this all down. The Bulwark's Andrew Egger, Tia Mitchell of the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, and CNN's Priscilla Alvarez. Nice to see you all. Happy post-Thanksgiving. Hope you guys have all decompressed from all the delicious food I'm sure you had. Tia, what is the fact that Donald Trump had Elon Musk by his side on Thanksgiving night? What do you make of that? And where does this relationship, I mean, he's really everywhere. He's on the campaign trail, he's in meetings, he's meeting with Republican lawmakers, and on a night you typically reserved for your closest family and friends, he's right there.
I mean, I think they built quite the relationship that's been kind of beneficial to them both. We know Elon Musk, his ground game has been credited with helping Trump win election. Now Elon Musk stands to benefit greatly by, staying cozy with the future president, knowing he has a lot of business interests that requires government approval, government regulation, direct government support. So right now, I think it's a mutually beneficial relationship. I also think it behooves Elon Musk to kind of stay in Trump's good graces, try to kind of kiss up a little bit. And I think Trump's enjoying that a little bit, which is why Trump keeps Elon around for now.
How long does this last? I mean,
well, that is the question, because as we have seen that some people in Trump's orbit have come and gone. We saw that quite a bit in the first term of his administration. You know, the secret sauce really is in any relationship with Trump is to be on his good side, to be his cheerleader. And Elon Musk, and even in the videos and the photos with Trump, is really doing that, pumping him up. Now, of course, how that will look when Trump is the president and tough decisions and calls have to be made, that's a whole separate issue, and we'll see how that plays out. But right now, they're sort of in a honeymoon period. I mean, he did just win in November. Elon was part of the effort to make that happen. So certainly right now, they're enjoying that. And I will say, Manu, to your point, we talk a lot about the Trump loyalists and those who he's placed in the cabinet, but Elon was the one sitting next to him. So if you really want to know who his most trusted confidant is, it's there in the photos and the videos.
And he's also, Musk has obviously a lot to gain by this relationship as well, given his vast business interests. Really, even, he's the richest person in the world. His net worth just hit a record $348 billion. He's $83 billion richer since Election Day alone. But to the point of the Trump-Musk relationship, Trump often gets rid of people, pushes them aside when things start looking, the bad headlines start bouncing back on him. Perhaps that will be one area of tension. If Elon Musk gets a bunch of bad headlines, Trump won't want anything to do with them.
Yeah, and one really interesting thing is that you could already see out on the campaign trail when they would talk about, what their plans for the new government are. They're really not on the same page about a number of different things, right? Trump has Elon in this weird kind of pseudo-governmental position at the Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, that he has stood up essentially for Elon to use. Elon would go out on the trail and talk about how he had plans to cut $2 trillion in federal spending, to just go in there and hack and slash, get rid of enormous portions of the federal bureaucracy. Some of that is simpatico with what Donald Trump wants to do. But when Elon would talk about things like, cutting entitlements and things like that, stuff that Donald Trump hasn't wanted to touch in years. And so when you actually get in there, when Elon starts, if he has his own platform, obviously, if he is talking a lot about things like touching Social Security or Medicare or Medicaid, stuff like that, that Donald Trump doesn't want anything to do with, we will see how long that can really last.
Let's dive into that a little bit more, just about how he's going to deal with this so-called Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, as is known. Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House, invited him to come to Capitol Hill next week. We expect to see them. I'm sure there'll be a lot of cheering about all the things that they could do. This is what Senator Joni Ernst, who would head this DOGE caucus, they're calling it, on the Senate GOP side. This is what she said about what they want to do.
We have Vivek Ramaswamy, we have Elon Musk, and we are going to scrutinize, again, every dollar that is going through our federal government. And if the Democrats aren't willing to come along with us, or if they're naysayers to the Department of Government Efficiency, it's probably because they're eating the pork out of the trough. And we really do need to start slimming back and cutting the fat.
This is all going to be easier said than done.
It's always in the details where none of them, either side of the aisle, want to touch. Because again, when you're talking about federal spending, they automatically, usually they take military and defense spending off the table. That's a big chunk. Then you talk about the entitlements, Social Security, Medicaid, Medicare, and even let's say Medicare and Social Security, take that off. That's a big chunk. Then you talk about the next chunk is Medicaid and food stamps for the poor. Now, Republicans are usually a little bit more open to cutting those programs, but that's when you get into a big part of Trump's base that helped elect him just a few weeks ago. Are they really going to go after these things? And if you take that off the table, you're left with a really small piece of the pie. I think people overestimate how much government spending is left over when you take entitlements and defense off the table.